it's not gone for good. And to make it worse, there are several other crops which are under field trials as well, and also in laboratory phase. So I mean, brinjal is not the only thing. There are several other crops which are being lined down. Corn, field trials are going on, and this.
Is undergoing trials, supposed to undergo trial. There are currently 74 crops that are under field trials or in labs for scientific research, etc. But 74 crops are proposed to be introduced, and what's most important is, as of now, in the case of BT brinjal, as consumers we were allowed to come out and oppose and have a debate and have a discussion with the then Environment Minister, Mr. Jayaram. There is a new bill that is being proposed in the Parliament, which is proposed to be coming up in the next session. Now that bill, which is called the Biotechnology Regulatory Authority of India, that bill will allow for three members, a panel of 3 members to decide which crops will be introduced in India and which will not. These three are, this falls under the Department of Biotechnology, which is also funding and supporting GM crops, and so there's obvious bias over here. These 3 people will be able to decide for an entire country what we're going to eat, what kind of GM. In a country like India, where most of our foods are unpacked, our markets are open, there's no real packaging and labeling, we will not be able to differentiate what is GM, what is not GM. Everything is going to look exactly the same. You will not be able to differentiate between what is good, what is bad, what is GM, what is not GM.
That exactly was my question. That if you go in the market to buy vegetables, how can we know that this is GM and this is not?
You can't.
As of now, it is not there in the market. But yeah, if at all, wherever it is there, there's no appearance-wise it is the same.
Right now in India, only BT cotton is a genetically modified crop. Now they say that BT cotton is not a food crop, so everything's fine, we're all safe. But if cotton seed oil is one of the main inputs in mixed vegetable oils. So indirectly, there are chances that BT is transferring, because BT, the bacterium which is used in BT cotton, it's transferred into every cell of the plant. So it's not just in the fruit or in the fiber or whatever. It's from the seed to the stem to the leaves. Every part of it has BT. So there are chances that it could transfer. We really need to become aware and inform our family, inform our friends, because we need to oppose this bill right now. We can't have a 3-member panel decide for all of us. That's just not fair. Once it's introduced, there's no turning back on GM, there's no reversing the effects, because once GMOs are released into the wild, it's virtually impossible to recall them. So,
and we can cross-pollinate with other plants. That is where the environment factor comes in. I mean, we're playing with nature. It's absurd.
In America, there are 5 crops which are genetically modified. That's cotton, soy, canola, and corn. And also a little bit of Hawaiian papaya. Now they say that America is eating it, nothing's happened to America. First of all, it started off, America for the longest period of time was only using it for animal feed, and now it's come into mainstream food. But there are no studies that have been done in America post the introduction of GM crops. So there's no studies showing whether there have been any ill effects or not. So just because there are no studies doesn't mean that nothing's happening. If you've noticed, like they said in the documentary, diseases and illnesses have increased in America since 1995. It's scary the way we are heading, and everyone seems to be thinking